Very warm welcome to all the students for today's lecture. In the last lecture, we have seen Chomsky normal form. This lecture, we are going to see the next kind of normal form, that's called as Greibach normal form. Let us now understand what is Greibach normal form. The grammar G is said to be in GNF or Greibach normal form if the production in it are of the form P gives A, A1, A2 up to AN, or P gives A, where capital A1, capital A2 up to capital AN along with capital P, they are non-terminals and small a is a terminal. So in short, what is a Greibach normal form? If the production are such that on the right hand side of the production, the term should start with a single terminal followed with n number of non-terminals. I'll repeat. On the right hand side of each term, it should start with a single terminal followed with n number of non-terminals. Then I can say that the production is in GNF. Or on the right hand side, suppose there is a single A, then also I can say that the production is in GNF. Now we have also seen CNF. So this kind of production is common for GNF as well as CNF. However, for CNF that we saw in the last lecture, the production for CNF, the production was should have been of this particular type. P gives say A1, A2. That means on the right hand side for CNF there should be exactly two non-terminals and nothing else. Whereas in GNF on the right hand side it is actually combination of terminal non-terminal. That is not happening in CNF. So on the right hand side in GNF it should start with a single terminal followed with n number of non-terminals, or if there is a single terminal on the right hand side, then also it is in GNF. That's the meaning of it. Now let's see the steps to convert the given grammar into Greibach normal form. The first step is null production elimination. Now this first and the second step, they are common in CNF as well as GNF. So first we are going to eliminate null productions, then we are going to eliminate the unit productions. After step number 2, in step 3, the right hand side of the productions in the grammar G, we are going to ensure that they are restricted to be either a single terminal or a terminal followed by one or more non-terminals. Okay. Now there is one lemma that we are going to use. Note, sometimes if the production which is obtained after step number 2, that means after elimination of null production and the unit production, that is at the end of step 2, at the end of step 2, if the productions which are obtained, if they are of the type A gives A alpha or beta. Now how do we recognize this? See, whatever non-terminal is there on the right, on the left hand side, the same non-terminal appears at the first term, first symbol of the term on the right hand side. Okay, if that happens, if the left hand side non-terminal also happens to be the first symbol on the right hand side of a particular term, then definitely the production is of the type A gives A alpha or beta. Then what is alpha? After that one term, whatever remains in that term, after that first symbol that is capital A, whatever remains in that term, everything will be treated as alpha. Whereas other terms wherein there is no capital A in the beginning, all those terms will be considered as beta. We will see this. So remember, if the productions are of the form A gives A alpha or beta, then we use the following lemma to convert such productions. Okay, and lemma is very simple. If the set of A productions are of the type A gives A alpha 1 or A alpha 2 or up to A alpha R, okay, followed with beta 1, beta 2 up to beta n. If the productions are of the type A gives A alpha 1, A alpha 2 up to A alpha R, followed with beta 1, beta 2 up to beta n. So if you find that any of the productions that you obtain after step number 2 is of this type, then let Z be a new terminal. So introduce another non-terminal called as Z, okay, or a variable called as Z. And then this original production is, which is of the form A gives A alpha 1, alpha 2 up to alpha n, beta 1, beta 2 up to beta n. This original production, A production, can be replaced with 4 other productions. What are these productions? First, what you do in the first production, the formula is A gives, you just collect all the beta terms and you place all the beta terms in the production. So A gives beta 1, beta 2, beta 3 up to beta n. But notice that you have also introduced a new non-terminal z. So then rewrite the same production, this time with extra element called as z. So earlier we had written A gives beta 1, beta 2, beta 3 up to beta n. Next term will be A gives beta 1 z, beta 2 z, beta 3 z up to beta n z. So to this production, just introduce z term at the end and the production will change. Okay, you can compare these two. What is extra here is a term called as z. So this way, two productions. Now A gives beta 1, beta 2 or A gives beta 1 z, beta 2 z. This has taken care of betas, but alphas remain, no? So that z production can be written to write all alphas. So z gives alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3 up to alpha r. So z production it accumulates all the alpha terms. A production will accumulate all the beta terms, Z production will accumulate all the alpha terms, and then like what I did here, since Z is a new variable, the same production you are going to rewrite this time by introducing Z with each term. So it will be alpha 1 Z, alpha 2 Z up to alpha R Z. Okay, so the original production here will be replaced with 1, 2, 3, 4 productions. Okay, now suppose I'll just tell you how to recognize whether the production is of the type A gives A alpha 1, A alpha 2 and so on. Suppose you have this production, X gives X into R, or say X divided by Y. Okay, sorry. Suppose it is X gives X into R, then X divided by Z, this is one term, or say AP or AZ and so on. Okay, now just see, the left hand side alphabet here is X, right? So this is A. Now you have to see the right hand side and find out which other terms, 1, 2, 3 and 4, out of all these terms, which terms have X as the beginning symbol. So you will observe that in this term X happens to be a beginning symbol. In this term also X happens to be a beginning symbol. So if that is A, then whatever remains that is into R will be alpha 1. Similarly, if this X here is A, then whatever remains that is divided by Z, this full term will be alpha 2. Okay, and now you consider this term. Is it beginning with X? No. So since it is not beginning with X, even this term does not begin with X. So it will not be A alpha 1, A alpha 2 type, it will be beta. So the whole term AP will be considered as beta 1. This whole term will be considered as beta 2 and so on. Okay, so this is roughly how we are going to find out, and we are going to consider the productions when we are dealing with the lemma. We will solve this as we solve problem. So without wasting time, let us consider the following productions of a given grammar, and let us convert them to GNF. So let's start. The step 1 will be common, and that step 1 involves elimination of null productions. Now you see, in these terms nowhere there is a null production. Okay, so I can say elimination of null productions not required. Why? Because there are no nullable variables here. Is there any term of type, any production of the type A gives null or B gives null? There are no such terms. So since there are no null productions involved, elimination of null production is not required. So we skip this step 1 and go to step 2. Step 2 is nothing but elimination of unit production okay. Now you see if there are any unit productions. If you consider P gives the first production, P gives P or Q, you see that this is one unit production. Similarly, in the Q production, you can see that this is one unit production. Okay, so I can just say after elimination of unit production, okay, P production becomes what I'm going to do. I'll first write the terms as it is, P or Q, or now this Q here is a unit production, right? So I will replace Q with Q production. So in place of Q, I will replace Q production's right hand side. Okay, so that this Q is eliminated and Q production's right hand side is replaced. Now what is there on right hand side of Q production? It is Q into R or R. So Q I will be replacing it by Q into R or R. So this is nothing but the Q value. Okay, but again by doing this, there is another unit production that gets introduced, that is R. Okay, so this I will just call it as 1 after eliminating unit production from Roman number 1, we get P gives P divided by Q or Q into R, or now what happens is this R here was creating problem, no? So this R I will replace with the right hand side of R production. Now if you see the R production, the right hand side of R production is R gives in square bracket P or A. So in place of this R, I am going to now write the right hand side of R production. So square bracket P or A. So this is actually the R that is replaced, and I will just call this as Roman number 2 equation. Okay, so now as we can easily see that this is a final form that we get after elimination of unit production. Okay, then next, again in this production, Q production, there is a unit production. So I can just say after eliminating unit production, okay, Q production becomes now, so it is Q into R or R, then R will be replaced with the right hand side of R. So Q production now will become Q into R. So Q gives Q into R, or, and this R will be replaced with square bracket within that P or A, square bracket P or A. What I have done, I have replaced this R with the right hand side of R. So this is that right hand side of R. So there are no more unit productions in that Q production, so I can consider this as a final Q production, and then I will name this as equation 3. Yes. Now there is no unit production over here, so R production can be written as R production itself. Therefore, after step 2, the final set of productions are R. Okay, I'm going to write this production. I will just write it with a different color. P gives P/Q or Q into R or square bracket P or A. So I will just name this as equation 1, number 1, not Roman number. Q production can be now written as Q into R or P or A, and R production is unchanged. So this is as it is written, square bracket P or A. So this is equation 2, this is equation 3. Production 2, production 3. Okay. Now after the end of step 2, we are going to begin with step 3, wherein we are going to consider now these as our final productions. We are not going to refer to the previous productions. So in step 3, we are going to analyze, whether any of these productions are of the type A gives A alpha or beta. Okay. Now, so I'll say consider 1. Okay, now let's see whether this equation 1 is of the type A gives A alpha or beta. Okay, equation 1, that is P gives P or Q, P divided by Q or Q into R or P or A. So this is equation, this is the production 1. Now, is it of the type A gives A alpha? Now, if this is considered as A, you see that in the first term over here, the very first symbol happens to be that same P. Okay, so this is left hand side element is A, so I can consider this P as A, and then whatever remains, that can be considered as alpha 1. But if you consider the second term over here, the very first symbol in the second term, it is no longer the same P, so that means it is not A alpha 1 type. So if the term is not of type A alpha 1, then the entire term will be treated as beta, here beta 1. Similarly, here it starts with opening bracket, so this is beta 2 and this is beta 3. Okay, so very simple, A gives A alpha or beta. So if that non-terminal A, which is there on the left hand side, on the right hand side's term, the first symbol also is that same A. Like here, the left hand side non-terminal was P. In the first term, the beginning symbol was also that P. So when you have A and A, okay, then whatever remains can be considered as alpha 1. And in any other terms, suppose this P, non-terminal P, is not involved in the first symbol, then you cannot write it as A alpha 1. Then the whole term will be considered as beta. So in this beta 1, beta 2 and beta 3. Okay, it is very simple. So consider 1, that is this. So okay, I can say 1 can be written as, okay, can be 1 can be rewritten as now. How it can be rewritten? It can be rewritten with 4 different things. Okay, now first one, just see, if the equations of type A gives A alpha 1, A alpha 2 up to A alpha n, beta 1, beta 2 up to beta n, then the first will be, first production will be A gives, you collect all the beta terms. Okay, so the first production will be P gives, you collect all the beta terms. Now there are 3 beta terms, correct? First beta term is Q into R, or the second beta term is the in square bracket P, and third beta term is A. So what I have done, P gives beta 1, beta 2, beta 3. Okay, then I also say that let Z1 be a new variable. Okay, so if Z1 is a new variable, okay, if Z1 is a new variable, then you can write the same production that you've written here with Z1 also as one of the terms. Okay, so I'm not going to write this on the separate line, rather that second P production which I'm going to write with the same terms, with all these same terms plus that Z1, I'm going to continue here. Okay, so just to show you, the second production is P gives the same beta 1 term, that is Q into R into Z1. Similarly, beta 2, the whole term that I copied from the top production and with Z1, and then A with Z1. So what has happened in the second production? The term, the first part is same. What I have done is I have attached Z1 to each term from the first production. Okay, so in short, I can write this, I can cascade these two productions. These two productions I can cascade and write as a one production. So what I will do, I will remove this and I will write, the terms. I will continue writing the terms for the top production. Here only I will continue. So next term is Q into R Z1. So I have taken this term. Then next term is bracket P Z1. So this also term I have taken, or A Z1. So this term also I have taken. So instead of writing two production this way, I can write one production only by using cascading method. Okay, that will look less tedious and easy to solve. So I don't have to write two productions like this. I can write that in one production. So this is my new production. So I will just now, since it is from 1, I will just call this as 1.1. Okay, now since we have introduced Z1, third production Z1 itself can be written how? Okay, so since we have introduced Z over here, Z production itself can be written by combining all the alpha terms together. Okay, and then the same terms, introducing Z with each term. So these two things. Okay, so first we'll write Z production. Z production is nothing but I have to combine all the alpha terms and write the Z productions. Now here, what are the alpha terms? There is only one alpha term, that is slash Q. There are no more alpha terms. So Z1 can be written as alpha 1 slash Q. Okay, so this completes this production. Now second production, the same alpha terms, but there is Z also involved in that. Okay, so instead of writing, okay, so first I will show you. The next production is Z1 gives alpha term, that is slash Q, and this time Z1 also is there. So instead of writing these two productions, I can cascade and write it as one production. So I will cancel this production and I will introduce the term here itself. So I can write this as slash Q Z1. But now I will neatly write how exactly you should write for exam. So I'll just show you the method of writing this. Okay, so I should have said consider 1. Okay, instead of writing that is, I can say consider 1, which is of the type A gives A alpha 1, A alpha 2, to A alpha n, beta 1, beta 2, up to beta n. So consider 1, which is of the type. Okay, then this thing, let Z1, you should write next. So let Z1 be a new variable okay, then with following productions. Okay, so next, after replacing this equation 1 with 1.1 and 1.2, the same procedure we are going to repeat for second production. So is this production of the type A gives A alpha or beta? Yes, because see, if this is A, the first symbol in the term here is also A. So if this is A, then whatever remains can be considered as alpha 1. Whereas in the other two terms, there is no Q appearing as the first symbol. So the whole term can be considered as beta 1, this whole term can be considered as beta 2. So in the same fashion, next I will write consider equation 2, again which is of the type A gives A alpha 1 or A alpha 2 up to A alpha n, or beta 1 or beta 2 up to beta n. Now here I will introduce another variable. Let z2 be a new variable, okay, then equation 2 can be replaced with following productions. Okay, now it is Q gives Q into R. Okay, so I will first write this so that it is easy for us to understand. Q gives Q into R or P or A. Okay, so it is this. Okay, now if you consider here, okay, if this is A, then this part will be A, and whatever remaining will be alpha 1, and this whole term will be beta 1, this whole term will be beta 2. Okay, so using the formula, using the lemma, how Q can be written as? Okay, Q can be written as you know, Q can be written as beta 1, beta 2 up to beta n. So this can be written. What is beta 1? Beta 1 will be P or A. Second equation, second production, wherein the same terms will be written, but Z2 will be added to each term. Okay, so second Q can be written as the same term, that is beta 1 Z2 or A Z2. So instead of writing 2, I will be writing it in the same production. So I will just append it here, P Z2 or A Z2. So this will be 2.1. So since I have cascaded it, I don't have to write 2 productions for Q. Similarly, Z2 itself can be written as alpha 1, alpha 2 and so on. So Z2 contains only alpha 1, that is into R, or into R Z2. So this is 2.2. Okay, and the third production, R gives P, or this is not of the type A gives A alpha or beta. So I say that the final set of productions after application of lemma are, and for my convenience I will freshly give these numbers or ABCD. Okay, so first I will write this full production So this is the first production. I have written it as it is. So it is P gives Q into R, or P or A, or Q into R Z1, or P Z1, or A Z1. So I will just name it as equation A. Okay. Similarly, the second equation, Z1 gives just rewriting the same equation. The second equation here is Z1 gives slash Q. So I will just call this as B. Okay, so these are the two equations, two production that we got by replacing the original production one, and these are the two expressions that we have got after replacing the original second production. So I will just append them here. Okay, so this will be, I will just call this as C, and I will just call this as D. Okay, I have just rewritten those terms. Fine. And apart from this, there is one, that is production 3, that I am going to keep it as it is. So I will rewrite it as it is. So R gives P or A, and I will call this as P. Okay. Now let's find out which are the terms which are already in GNF. Now, is the first term here, is it in GNF? What is GNF? Term is in GNF if it starts with a terminal and followed with n number of non-terminals. However, here multiplication or into happens to be a terminal that occurs in between Q and R. So that means the first term here is not in GNF. Now, this second term here would have been in GNF, but the problem is what? This is a terminal. Fine, it starts with a terminal, but in place of this closing bracket, suppose there was a non-terminal, then this term would have been in GNF. Okay, so this is also not in GNF. This is in GNF. Again, here what happens is there is into, term called as into, which is present in between. That's why it is not in GNF. Here this term also would have been GNF, provided this closing bracket, square bracket, if this was replaced with a capital or non-terminal. So this is not in GNF, this is in GNF. This is already in GNF, this is also already in GNF. This is not in GNF, again because of the same thing. Somehow if I was able to replace this closing bracket with a non-terminal, then I would have. This next term is already in GNF. Here also this is not in GNF. Why? Closing bracket is creating problem. This is in GNF. This term and this term, they are in GNF. This is not in GNF because of the closing bracket. This is in GNF. So now one thing is very clear. Many terms over here would have been in GNF, but just because there is a multiplication sign, there is a closing bracket somewhere, because of which we were not able to say that they are in GNF. So I will introduce now two productions. I'll just say A1 gives star and A2 gives closing bracket. Okay. B, new productions. Why I have introduced this to new production? So that wherever into occurs, I would be able to replace it with A1. Wherever closing bracket occurs, which is a terminal, I would be able to replace it with A2. And with that, some of the terms from this set would be converted to proper GNF terms. Okay. So I will just, since I have named this as E, I will just name this as F. This is F, and this one will be named as G. Okay, continuity. Okay, so substituting F and G in A, we get, so wherever into occur, wherever closing bracket occurs, I will be replacing them with A1 and A2. So in this I will do it. Remember students that whichever term is already in GNF, don't do the replacement for those terms. Don't touch those terms. So this replacement, that is star replaced with A1 or closing bracket replaced with A2, this replacement should be done only to those terms which are not in GNF. If there is some term which is already in GNF, okay, and replacement possible, don't replace that term. If you replace the term, again it will be not in GNF. So whichever terms which are already in GNF, don't touch these terms. Whichever terms which are not in GNF, only there you do the replacement. Okay, so when I substitute F and G wherever required in P, what will happen? This into first will be replaced with A1. Okay, so I can write, so A becomes, or A implies, the new value of A will be P gives, okay, so wherever star is there, I'll replace with A1. So this term will be Q A1R, Q A1R. Now see, this term is still not in GNF. Here, wherever there is a closing bracket, I will be replacing it with A2. So it will be opening bracket P A2, opening bracket P A2. Now this term is in GNF. Okay. Now third term A, which is already in GNF, so no problem. Fourth term here, into will be replaced with A1, so this will look like Q A1 R Z1. Q A1 R Z1, or this will look like, closing bracket will be replaced with A2, so this will look like opening bracket P A2 Z1, opening bracket P A2 Z1, okay, opening bracket P A2 Z1, and this is already in GNF, A Z1, A Z1. Okay, so this is, I will just call this as A.1, first version of A. Now in this new version of A, you see this term is already in GNF, this is also in GNF, this and this terms are in GNF, whereas this term and this term, they are still not in GNF. Okay, I will do the same thing. I will repeat the same procedure for other. So I say substitute F and G in B. What we get? Let's check. Okay, what is B implies? First of all, this replacement should be done in only those terms where the terms are not in GNF. So I think, I think B, both the terms are already in GNF, so you will not replace them in B. Whereas replacement is required in production C, because see here, this term and this term are not still in GNF. So instead of saying B, I will say C. So substituting G and F in not B, because B is already in GNF, I will say in C we get C implies, the new value of C implies, okay, so that is what new value of C. The first term here, the closing bracket will be replaced with A2, so the term will be Q gives opening bracket PA2, Q gives opening bracket PA2, first term. Then the next term will be A as it is already in GNF, I will write as it is. The third term here, this is also not in GNF, so this will be opening bracket PA2 Z2, opening bracket PA2 Z2, okay. The next term here, this is already in GNF, so this I will write as it is, AZ2, AZ2. So I will just call this as, since it is C, I will just call it as C.1, that is the first version of C. But notice that here also, although this term is in GNF, this also in GNF, this and this, yes, all four terms are now in GNF, okay. So third C, this is solved. Now Z2, that is production D, you don't have to do any replacement. But here term E, the production E, here see there is one term which is not in GNF, so you have to do the same replacement in E. Okay, so again I will say substituting F and G, finally in E we get the new value of E will be, okay, E is a short one, so this will be production E will be, R gives opening bracket PA2, R gives opening bracket PA2, and now the second term of that is already in GNF, so don't do any changes. I will write it as it is. Fine. So I will just call this as E.1. Fine. Here also now see, this term is already in GNF, this is also already in GNF. So we have done up till this, right? So now we have to address only those terms which are still not in GNF. Okay, now which are the terms which are not still in GNF? Okay, let's check. Stop, continue. Now we consider A, not A, consider A.1, consider A.1, which is still not in GNF. Okay, now you see all other productions, that is C.1, E.1, or whichever we did not do replacement, that is B or D, they are all in GNF, but only this A.1 is not in GNF because of these only two terms. So now individually we will do something. Okay, so first we will consider P gives QA1R. Okay, so now consider the term P gives QA1R. Okay, P gives QA1R. So this is not in GNF. Now how can we convert this to GNF? A simple idea. Okay, if somehow the first symbol here Q, if this was a terminal, then the issue would have solved. Okay, so what we do is, whenever we have this kind of problem occurring in GNF, what you do is you try to replace this non-terminal Q. There has to be a terminal here, right? You try to replace this non-terminal Q with the right hand side of Q production. Let's go to the Q production. This is the new Q production. Okay, C.1. So each term over here, that is Q, if you replace with each term from the right hand side, what will happen? All these terms you see, they are already in GNF. Okay, so if you replace these terms over here, okay, this entire production will be in GNF. Okay, so consider this production which is not in GNF. Then what you do? Replacing Q with the right hand side of Q production. Okay, we get what we get. So what you do, wherever there is Q, replace it with the right hand side of Q production. So first, this Q will be replaced with the first term of the Q production. What is the first term of the Q production? This is the Q production, the latest one. First term will be opening bracket PA2. So opening bracket PA2. This will be the first term of Q production, followed with A1R. okay, followed with A1R. So now you see this term is already in GNF, fine, but you can't be replacing only one term of Q production. Why? Because Q production over here, it also has other terms. So each of this term of the Q productions have to be replaced with this Q. Okay, so next term of the Q production is A. So it can be now written as A1R. Okay, A then A1R. Understood? Then still there are more terms. For example, opening bracket PA2Z2 is a term. So opening bracket PA2Z2 will be replaced in place of Q, and what will come at the end will be A1R. This term is also in GNF. Are all the terms over? No, there is another term AZ2. So then finally Q will be replaced with AZ2 followed with A1R, and okay, so this is the new production. Okay, this is the new production. So that means I will now erase this particular term, and in place of this term which was not in GNF, okay, I will replace it with all these terms. Fine. So I will just simply call this as say EF. I'll just call this as F. Okay. Then consider. So we have solved. Somehow this term is no longer in. It is now in GNF, but still there is another term which we have to convert. P gives QA1RZ1. P gives QA1RZ1, which is not in GNF. Okay, here also I will replace the Q. So I say replacing Q with the right hand side of Q production. We get what we get. Now please notice whatever I have written in red color over here, they were actually the right hand side terms of Q production. So in place of Q, each of this term in red mark will be written and appended with A1RZ1. Okay, so I can now write this as P gives, in place of Q I will write the first term, that is bracket PA2, okay, A1RZ1, first term. Then the second term of the Q production happens to be A, so Q will be replaced with A, so it will be small a A1RZ1, small a A1RZ1. Third term of the Q production is bracket PA2Z2, so I will write that bracket PA2Z2 followed with A1RZ1, A1RZ1, or still there is another term that is remaining, AZ2 followed with A1RZ1, AZ2 followed with A1RZ1. I will just call this as G. So now you see each of the term here also, they are all in GNF. So we have converted each production into GNF. Okay, therefore substituting, okay, the non-GNF terms, substituting the non-GNF terms in A.1 with F and G, we get. So I have to now write the final thing. So P gives now the first term in the P production that we saw here, P.1, this was not in GNF. So what we did here was this, which was not in GNF, will be replaced with this whole term. So in place of QA1R, I am going to write all these terms. So bracket P A2 A1 R or A1 R or P A2 Z2 A1 R or A Z2 A1 R. So what are these terms? These are the terms from F, which you are going to replace, all the terms you are going to replace in the place of QA1R, which was not in GNF. Now in the P production, that is A.1, the second term, third term, they were already in GNF, so I can write these terms now as it is, continue writing bracket PA2/A. So I will continue writing bracket PA2/A. Those two terms are as it is written or now. Okay. But the next term here, this was also not in GNF. So in this place, I am going to replace now the production that you get, QA1RZ1. So we did here, QA1RZ1 was not in GNF, so it was replaced with all these terms. So all these terms I am going to write. Okay. So the first term here, I am just going to write whatever is there in G now. Okay. So PA2 A1 RZ1. I don't have space, so I will continue writing here down. The next term is A1 R Z1 bracket PA2 Z2 A1 R Z1 AZ2 AR Z1. So what I have done, these are the terms from G that I should replace in place of QA1 RZ1, and the last two terms were already in GNF, so I am going to just write them, append them. What is the term? Bracket PA2 Z1. So bracket PA2 Z1 and finally AZ1 slash AZ1. Okay, so I will just call this as F1, that is final one. Okay, now Q production, the final Q production, you see Q production, everything was in GNF, so I am going to write everything from Q production as it is. So Q gives just copy paste it, the full Q production, that is bracket PA2 slash A slash bracket PA2 I'll just I will repeat from the place beginning with Q production. F1 is already over, so next starting with the Q production. Start. The Q production now, okay, all these terms are there, so the new Q production can be then written as Q gives bracket PA2, Q gives bracket PA2, okay, or A or bracket P(A2)Z2 bracket P(A2)Z2 or AZ2. So I will just call this as F2. What I have done, I have written this C point, what is that? C.1, I have written it as it is. Okay. So A production and C production I have written. Now what was not changing? It was this B production. So this B production also I will write. Z1 gives /Q Z1. So the next production is Z1 gives /Q, okay, /Q Z1. So I will just call this as final 3, F3. Okay, similarly, what is Z2? Z2 also did not change. What is Z2? Z2, this did not change. So Z2 can be written as Z2 gives star R Z2. Z2 gives star R Z2. This will be final 4, F4. Okay, so I have written this here. You should not miss anything. P production, Q production, Z1, Z2 production. Anything else was remaining? P, Q, Z1, Z2, and R production has to be written. Now R production was this. Okay, E1. So R gives bracket P(A2)/A. R gives bracket P(A2)/A. So this is F5. Okay, therefore productions F1 to F5 are finally in GNF. Okay, so it's a bit tedious to write. There are few things which I want to tell you at the end. Students many a times make mistake while copying the terms. Okay, you have to be very careful while copying the terms. That's the only key, okay, for solving it correctly. So this is how Grebec normal form problem is solved whenever lemma comes into picture. Thank you.